I love talking about how minerals are so important in our life. And today I'm going to talk about iodine and how crucial that is. And it's really become a challenge to get in our diet. So, one of the key facts today about iodine, we need iodine to make thyroid hormone, and we need thyroid hormone to live. Hormones have a say in all of our functions. I'm going to talk about the signs if you are deficient in iodine and then some of the different forms of iodine supplements. And 97% of us are deficient in iodine. We don't need much, however, it's very essential. You can get too much, so don't go overboard on it. Most think that iodized salt is the perfect solution, and it's not really the best salt for you to take. Some of the evaporated seawaters are much, much, much better. With iodized table salt, you get sodium and chloride. That's only two minerals, plus a little bit of the potassium iodide in the table salt, and that can evaporate out over time. And of course, you need so many essential minerals, micronutrients to help your body function every day. And the evaporated seawater has like 70 or 80 essential minerals. The iodine in iodized salt is only 10% bioavailable and it often evaporates. And people that live far from the ocean have lower levels of iodine in their body. Some of the reasons for these conditions that I'm going to mention, there can be other reasons for having some of these symptoms. However, since so many of us are deficient, you just might want to look at iodine and see if that's a contributing factor. One is fatigue, energy levels. You can feel really tired. Thinning hair. Thyroid hormones control growth of hair follicles. Dry skin, lack of radiance, dry and flaky. Your hair can be dry and brittle too. Impaired vision. Cysts in women, fibrocystic tumors. Dr. Sarah Pugh, P-U-G-H, is a quantum biologist. She said iodine deficiency causes cysts. And the cruciferous vegetables actually block natural iodine absorption, and that's found in our foods. So the cruciferous vegetables are like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and I think asparagus also. And if you become depleted in iodine, it messes up your thyroid, which controls the hormones. All our organs need iodine, including the breast. They swell if you're deficient in iodine. Your intuition. Iodine aids in decalcifying the pineal gland. So if you're not recognizing or following the intuitive wisdom, you are in effect cutting off part of yourself. You are not allowing yourself to do what you truly want to do. So if you're having thyroid problems, you might want to explore your relationship to your intuition. Mental clarity, brain fog. It's harder to store and learn new information. Memory, cognitive impairment, dementia. Learning is slower. In your intelligence, a higher IQ if you live near the ocean. And if women are lacking iodine during pregnancy, it can stunt babies' growth and brain development. Mothers provide high doses of iodine, of iodine while they are pregnant. And they produce babies who have much higher IQs. The average iodine intake in the past 30 years has decreased. And pregnant women need large amounts of iodine. The growing baby just soaks it up like a sponge. It can be constipation. Digestion can be irregular or uncomfortable. You can have muscle aches, goiter, gout, diminished immune cell activity. You can have a puffy face or hoarseness, sensitivity to cold. Your hormones can be off, certainly. Iodine is needed to make that thyroid hormone that we need to live. Reproductive issues, unexpected weight gain. Again, look to the hormones. and slow metabolism. And a side effect of that is it reduces the efficiency of the lymphatic system, and that's our drainage system. It drains out accumulations of fluids and waste products in the joints, so they can get uncomfortable. Depression, the immune system. You can use iodine for cuts and scrapes. That's discovered to be the most effective non-toxic germ killer. Heart rate, thyroid hormone influences the force and speed of your heartbeat, blood pressure, and cholesterol. And it can mimic a heart issue or make one worse. Iodine used therapeutically for high radiation exposure. And that makes sense to get a daily maintenance dose to help with that. And we are exposed to more and more radiation, EMF from our phones, devices, towers, appliances. Take as many EMF radiation precautions as possible. Those are some of the things that can go awry if we're deficient in iodine. For thyroid and parathyroid health, iodine must be in proper balance with other key minerals, particularly magnesium and selenium, also potassium, sodium, cesium, rubidium, and lithium. And it's why I say the best way to take minerals is a plant-sourced ionic supplement. You don't have to be concerned about overdoing. We're getting it as we would if we were eating plants. And you can find some of this info on this liquid essential mineral on my website. Dr. Elizabeth Bright, B-R-I-G-H-T, is my favorite expert on iodine. Thyroid needs iodine and protein, and the adrenals need fat. Our foods have less iodine, and we have higher radiation exposure today. Now in Japan, that's known for longest lifespans in the world. They boast the greatest number of people who live to be over 100. In fact, the Japanese are widely considered the most healthy people alive. Infant mortality, dementia, and heart disease all are on an ongoing downtrend for the past 2 decades in Japan. They consume an average of 30 times more iodine than the daily recommended amount for Americans. In the New York Times, it said Japan has about the lowest per capita healthcare costs among the advanced nations of the world, and its population is the healthiest. Now, meanwhile, back in America, due to a false fear of getting too much iodine from bakery products, iodine was eliminated from bread in the 1980s. They used to add that in there. Things in our life that block iodine or interfere with our hormones. I mentioned before the cruciferous vegetables. Fragrances in soaps, lotions, hand sanitizer, and products with artificial or natural fragrances. They're not all that natural. Iodine as a supplement. There are 4 different forms of iodine I'm going to talk about today. This is not medical advice. Consult your professional health advisor to determine the proper amount for you. There's Lugol's, a 2% or a 5%. I have 2% here. And it's a solution of potassium iodide and iodine in water. I believe you can take it orally too. The bottle says topical. The largest pores are on the bottom of your feet. You can put it on your wrist. Just a couple drops is all you need. Nascent iodine, when I looked into that, that is a nano colloidal iodine that holds an electromagnetic charge. It's very, very small. And for me, the jury's still out on some of the nano supplements. I think it's not quite the usual way our body takes it in. So I'm not sure how our cells react to that super small nano. And both the nascent and the Lugol's, they evaporate out the rubber stopper. So be sure not to get a huge supply, keep it fresh. Kelp is I have an organic certified. the genus species is Laminaria digitata. It's a deep sea kelp from Iceland, and a pinch a day is all you need. I do have a source for that if you want to contact me from my website. And interestingly, magnesium and selenium is essential for iodide absorption and energy production. And iodine is one of the critical alkalizing minerals. And that's why I always recommend plant-sourced ionic mineral. You can look on my website for that. An easy test to see if you're iodine deficient, and there are many complicated tests. You'd have to talk to your medical professional for that. But one, I just take my Lugol's and add it to, just put it topically on your arm. And then I look at it an hour or 2 or 6 later. And if it's still there, if the orange stain is still there 12 hours later, you're doing pretty good with your iodine. If it disappears very, very quickly, yeah, add some iodine to your day. So I want you to look at the big picture. If you're missing essential minerals, the body wastes energy and micronutrients to create unnecessary alternate pathways. Our bodies are very intelligent. They will do that. Or we can just make it easier on ourselves and educate and do a little self-care. To take care of body, mind, spirit, clean up your food, get rid of processed food, plastics, fragrances. Pay attention to essential nutrients, hydrate, meditate, and find beauty and joy in your day. Joy is always there in some size.